One night I received a phone call, and it was to go and do a tangi here out in South Auckland. So I responded by going over to the whānau's house to wait for the body to arrive. I waited around with the family and the body came in. I did a karakia, and then I sat down. And straight after I sat down, when I sat down, I was hoping someone would respond. No one did, so I took my collar off and I decided to act as a kaumātua and speak and welcome the family and settle them into the house. Why I did a karakia there was just to remind the whānau of God's presence in their time of loss, and that God's still there, God loves them. It's no one's fault that he died, and so it's helping them through that emotional period, that time where it's really their darkest hour. I think tikanga is important to our part of our life. It's shown that there is a way of doing things, a way of caring for those who come through those doors, who was going to mourn and grieve with the whānau. And so it's just, for me, it's important to help set the tikanga for the whānau if there is nothing. After the karakia and after the speeches, some of the boys from outside decided that they wanted to come into the house to see their cousin that's lying here. And one walked in with a joint in his hand and a bottle of beer, and there was a kuia that was sitting next to me who was sitting there to support me. She stood up and just shouted at him to leave the room because it was disrespectful of him to bring alcohol. The family approached me and asked me if I could allow for something like that to happen. They wanted to fulfill the wish of their son, and that was to have his friends and his family drink and smoke around him while he's lying there in stain. What I found wrong was it took away from the importance of grieving. It took away the tapu of the place. I explained to them that the room that we were in was a living room, but it is now a room where a dead lies. And until we have laid him to rest, we come back to restore life into the place, and that's when we do the takahi. And I was also worried about what the drug and alcohol would do to the family at this time, because it was a very emotional time. I myself was very scared at that point, because as I was trying to make things right, I was afraid for myself, because they were all in state as I was talking to them. They've already boozed up and had some alcohol before bringing him in, and so I had the right to be afraid, and I wouldn't have known what to do at that point. After all that, I said to the whānau that if they choose this way, then I can no longer help them, and I can no longer service their need. I've laid down what I thought was right and what needed to be done. If they don't take it in, then that's up to them. So they chose the other way, and I didn't return back to the house, not until the night after. I went back the following night. I come across some very angry people, but I think the reason they were angry was because the night before, the night I didn't return, they've had this huge party, and there was young people all over the place drinking, and one throwing up and they even snapped the handle of the coffin as a result of this party, and they had a huge brawl inside the house. So I got back, the whānau have had enough, they've used all their energy, they've settled down, and they were willing to cooperate. And so I conducted the final service and did the nehu at the urupa, and I takahi the whare. This whānau and others like it are very lost. They don't know their tikanga, they've really lost themselves. And I think amongst being pohara and everything, the only thing they could do is to drink and smoke, and that's the only way they know how to deal with these life situations. What I think they need is people who can walk beside them, to guide them, to help them, to also awhi and support them in their times of need. They need God, and we have to be there to help create God's presence among them and their homes where they're living, and also bring them to God. So we are called to love and to show God's love to them, and we're called to serve.